Greetings, faithful followers. This is your old pal, Brother Jack Angry, bringing you another edition of Movie Night Live from the Monastery of Mayhem, deep in the bowels of Omaha, Nebraska, in conjunction with the Angry Brothers Omaha Shaka Rama. And I'm your host, Brother Jack Angry, and guess what? I'm here all by myself. Everybody understand, everybody's got things to do, and we do film at weird hours, and sometimes it's just not possible to get everyone rounded up. So we have, no hard feelings to Brother James, Inferna, Ash, Sin, Gulia, the rest of the group. We understand, everybody's got their things to do, and, so Brother Jack's going to hold down the fort yet again, and we'll be getting the old gang back together here pretty soon, and you'll probably be seeing some new faces as well. But anyway, so another wonderful week here in Omaha. This episode tonight goes out to a good friend of the show, Mr. Andy Shambaugh, who is running for, I believe it is running for a state senator or under the Libertarian ticket. I might be incorrect about that, and I will apologize if Brother Jack messed that up. But, I've been doing a lot of research on the Libertarian Party, and they're looking like, that is definitely the way to go. Let's face it, the two-party system we've got right now is, I could pretty much describe in one word, broken. So we kind of need to, basically, we need to introduce a little new blood into the equation, and I think Libertarian is the way to go on that. The motto that I read somewhere was, Libertarian wanting to take over the world and leave everyone alone, which is, in this age of big government and all that other crap. Thank you, Obama. A little government that decides that it doesn't want to be in our bedrooms or in our pockets or any of that, I think would be a really good solution. So, I am urging all our friends and fans of the show to look into Libertarian the next time you go vote. Let's give these Republicans and Democrats a run for their money. If you want to be like like a certain red-headed sheep I know and just drink the Kool-Aid, then please, by all means, continue to vote Democrat or Republican. But if you want to think outside of the box and, inject a little bit of fresh air, a little new blood into the equation, definitely let's look at Libertarian, everyone. And I'm Brother Jack Angry, and I approve this message. So that's enough of that. Now, as it is coming into the springtime of the year, the days have gotten longer. We've had the daylight savings time changeover. We've sprung ahead an hour. That means that, Brother Jack lost an hour of sleep. Yay. It's like, I don't know about you, but I'm all a fucking quiver over that. How about all of you? As it is inevitable of this time of the year, two big events in the whore host world coming up. We've got the Rondo Awards, and later on in the spring we've got the Whore Host Hall of Fame. Now, normally Brother Jack would be campaigning, to get votes for the Rondo Awards and even get a nomination for the Whore Host Hall of Fame. But this year, I'm saying, I'm not even going to bother with it. It's like, as far as the Rondo Awards are concerned, I'm starting to see a pattern here, I'm not seeing a lot of new whore hosts being nominated in the Rondo Awards. It's the same old hosts getting multiple awards, so Brother Jack's just needing a break this year, and so consequently we're not going to be doing anything for the Rondos. We are not going to be promoting them. We are not going to be asking to be nominated or written in. We are not doing anything. The Rondos are a non-issue this year, and they're probably going to be that way next year as well, depending on how I feel, which, it ain't looking good right now, people. I'm at the point now, well, it's like, let's take whoever got the damn thing last year and just give it to them again, it's, because I sincerely doubt that it's, as far as the whore hosts are concerned, well, I'm not seeing a lot of new blood coming into the rondos, and I mean, it's the same hosts every year that are nominated. So, and we've got hosts out there that have multiple rondo awards, you know. So, you know, I'm sorry, you might say that Brother Jack is being a kind of a whiny bitch about this, but, you know, maybe I am to a certain degree, because, you know, myself and I know at least 3 or 4 other horror hosts that work tirelessly to bring their shows out, to, you know, make sure their shows are funny, make sure their material is good, you know, using the right movies, and, you know, the whole public domain thing. Again, that's not even something I'm going to even talk about. I mean, Brother Jack brings his fans the movies they want to see. Our tribute to Leonard Nimoy that we just posted has done staggeringly well. We've received so much wonderful feedback from behind the scenes, from other horror hosts, other actors, other celebrities, and not only that, our fans as well. They've embraced it. They love it. So, you know, as far as I'm concerned, Brother Jack's received his mandate from the people, and that's the way the ship's going to be run. This is the way the ship is going to be run. You know, we do what we do for you, the fans, not for ourselves, not for organizations like the Horror Host Hall of Fame or the Rondos or any of that. We do it for our fans. You know, our fans are as far as I'm concerned, our fans are number one in our book. And, you know, if any other horror host isn't doing that, I mean, if you're trying to be a charity fundraiser, you're not a horror host as far as I'm concerned. You know, there's a certain red-headed hack that I really won't mention any further, who might want to bear this in mind, you know. And if you want to go out and stump for a cause, then stump for a cause. Don't do it behind the, you know, behind the mantle of a local legend. You know, you're doing his legacy a big disservice, and frankly, you're just pissing the rest of us off, as far as I'm concerned. And that's my opinion. And it's a wonderful it's under the auspices of a wonderful little thing called the First Amendment. So don't even bother to write me, you know, and threaten me or that, because here's my answer. You know, you don't like it, too fucking bad. Roundabout. Well, now with that being said, on to other business. You know, I have, to the organizers of the Rondo Awards, I have nothing but respect for you. I'm a firm believer in the Rondo Awards, but, you know, I'm sorry, it's been a rough winter, and frankly, Brother Jack's, you know, running on fumes right now, so it's like he's going to take a little time to recharge his batteries and come back like Nixon, tan, rested, and ready. So, you know, again, that's, and as far as the Horror Host Hall of Fame, I mean, Jason Hignite, you know, and the rest of the organizers, I have nothing but respect, well, with the exception of 2 of you, and I'm not going to mention any names there. You know, as far as that goes, you know, wonderful organization. I am, you know, you've done wonderful work recognizing some of the classic horror hosts of the past, but, you know, we've got a whole new generation of hosts that are working tirelessly to bring this genre back from the abyss, and, you know, and I can't speak for them personally, but, you know, I'm not feeling the love here, but that's just me. I mean, Brother Jack's, like I said, had a really rough weekend. Frankly, you know, he's a little bit tired, but that's okay. I'll survive, I'll survive, and, you know, onward and upward is our motto here at the Angry Brothers Omaha Rama. I did want to take a moment. Well, we're going to bring you some information on tonight's movie here in just a moment, and this also goes out to our good friend Andy Shambaugh. And when it comes time for the I believe it's the state senatorial elections, or whenever Andy announces that he's running, vote Libertarian, vote for Andy Shambaugh. You know, and again, this message comes from me personally. I'm not being endorsed in any way or compensated in any way, shape, or form to say that. I just have had a chance to speak with the man on certain things, and I do agree that, you know, I do agree that Libertarian may be the way to go here. Also, you can look for the Angry Brothers in April. There's going to be a big pro-marijuana rally put on, I believe it's by Nebraska Normal, which is the National Organization of Marijuana Reform Laws. That is going to be, I believe, April the 20th, and it's going to be in, it's going to be at the bridge over Dodge Street down by Memorial Park. And I believe that's right outside of the UNO campus. So, you know, we'll have further details on that. And we're going to be there. We're going to be shooting some film. We're going to be doing some segments, talking to people. We're going to hopefully talk to the organizers of it and get their take on it. You know, and if you haven't guessed it, Brother Jack is all for legalization and decriminalization. Before you say, well, you know, that's really not a stand, you know, you're not setting a good example. Why not? Why am I not setting a good example? Because frankly, let's face it, let's look at the pros and cons of this here, all right? Marijuana, when administered properly, either through cannabis oil or even smoked, eaten, or otherwise ingested, has a myriad of health benefits, especially those with mutating cell growth diseases such as cancer, tumors. The medical evidence is there that taking a few grams of hash oil every day at selected intervals can reduce those tumors or arrest their development altogether. And cannabis oil is helpful for certain types of epilepsy, where conventional treatments don't work. Hash oil, cannabis, has been shown to basically help relieve those sufferings. Chemotherapy, it stimulates the appetite. It helps with nausea. It improves the quality of life for somebody having to go through that. I've lost family to cancer, all right? And I've seen what chemotherapy and radiation does to a person. And at that time, you know, we didn't know about all the benefits that marijuana or cannabis offered. And if we had, we probably would have used it at that time. Or I would have recommended that it be used at that time. And let's face it, marijuana, in the words of our good friend of ours, Horsehead Ed from Oliver's Twisted Bargain Basement Stoner Friendly Freak Show. I hope I got that right, Oliver. You know, that title is just a killer. I mean, I think I sprained my tongue saying that. But in the words of our good friend Horsehead Ed, you know, marijuana is great for getting the sticks out of some people's asses. And, you know, considering which would you rather do? Some type of synthetic pharmaceutical compound that's going to have a list of side effects as long as my arm, or marijuana, which is natural. It was grown. It was grown. It wasn't synthesized in a laboratory. It was grown. You have synthetic chemical. You have natural plant. You know, this was created by science. This one was created by God. Which, I mean, I know which one I would choose. You know, and let's face it, the week Brother Jack's had, I'm surprised I'm not sitting here firing up a big old doobie, but unfortunately, it's illegal. And until that changes, you know, I'm just not going to partake, thank you very much. But if you're suffering and you have a need for it, by God, you should have it, because you deserve it. And, you know, as far as that goes, I'm going to end that up with another quote from our good friend Horsehead Ed. And if you don't, well, if I can remember the quote, if you don't believe in this, then go fuck yourself. That's my response on it, and that's really all I'm going to say on the matter. If you have a comment that you want to make, or basically you want to call me a son of a bitch or what have you, feel free to write us at The Angry Bros, that's TheAngrybros @gmail.com. Now tonight's movie goes out to our good friend Andy Sambaugh. It's from 1983, and it is, sorry, I had an itchy nose there. It's called The Bog. Now this movie basically is your typical underwater creature film. Basically a group of local Sorry, itchy nose. Damn, that bugs me. Sorry about that, faithful followers. You know, hey, the nose itches, you gotta scratch it. A group of local yokels are dynamite fishing in a local bog, and if you've never done dynamite fishing, obviously you've never lived around Council Bluffs or in Harrison County. But anyway, dynamite fishing is when you are out in a boat, and instead of dropping a hook on a line in the water, you drop a lit piece of dynamite in the water. The concussion from the explosion stuns whatever's in the immediate area. The fish rise to the surface, and you scoop them up with a net and take them in that way. Anyway, this group of local yokels are out there dropping dynamite, trying to get some fish, and what they succeed in doing is awakening a sleeping gill man at the bottom of this bog. The gill man, at being woken up so abruptly, and is understandably a little pissed. And, you know, when Brother Jack doesn't get his 8 hours and a cup of coffee afterwards, you know, I can be a little bit cranky too. So this gill man proceeds to go on a rampage, killing locals, causing all kinds of problems, until he's finally vanquished by a local townie who's a scientist and his rather hot girlfriend. The movie stars nobody that I've ever heard of, but it was recommended to me by Andy Sambaugh, and we're going to go ahead and bring it to you tonight. So without further ado, let's get on to The Bog here on the Angry Brothers Omaha Rama. And remember, vote Libertarian. Well, welcome back, faithful followers. What did you think? What do you think of The Bog so far? I mean, isn't this movie great? We've got these dumb country hicks dropping dynamite into the lake, trying to bring up a bunch of fish. You know, so what do you think they're going to bring up? I mean, come on. We didn't really need to be Fellini to figure this one out. Of course they're going to wake up some type of a monster. I mean, you've got a bunch of local idiots dynamite fishing. That's the same as well. It's like the group of local idiots going into the toxic waste dump and kicking, you know, it's like, you don't want to mess with the barrel with the tar man in it. You know, that's only going to lead, it's not going to end well. We should all know this, but what do? We go in and we do it anyway. But to give you a little trivia about the movie, now this film was shot in 1978, and there was a story in Box Office Magazine from August 18th, 1978. It said that the producer was Michelle Marshall. Now the monster, who was played by a 30-year-old man living near Radisson, Wisconsin by the name of Thomas Jeff Schwad, who was 6'7" and weighed 247 pounds and took a size 16 shoe. That's a big shoe, you know, it's like, and you know what they say about guys with big shoes. I mean, he must have been the belle of the ball all around town, you know. It's like, what was his nickname? Farm Animal? Anyway, he was playing the monster in that, and you know, so they naturally had to you know, kind of go all out to make his costume. Now the shooting was done around the Harshaw, Wisconsin area. This film starred Milwaukee actors Carol Terry, Glenn Voros, Lou Hunt, and Denise Bednar. They were in the cast, so it was a local production. A lot of local actors from Milwaukee, which is the closest major city to Harshaw. I did check that. They were employed, you know, so this film did give a lot of people jobs. You know, that's really all I can really say about it. However, the movie was shot in 1978, but it wasn't booked in any theatrical release until 1983. It did receive a very, very poor run. It received few bookings, and eventually it ended up on video in 1984, where I'm sure most of us have seen it. You know, I'm pretty sure that's where Andy saw it, was on video. But again, this is a classic theme with many movies. You know, they start shooting it, and they've got high hopes, but the theatrical release just never pans out, or it never materializes, and it sits in some distributor's warehouse or on somebody's shelf until somebody makes the deal where it's released directly to video, or nowadays to video on demand, and that's where guys like me pick it up. You know, we find these movies, we bring them to you, you know, so you know, and as far as production companies, producers, you know, spouses of producers, you know, stop crucifying horror hosts because we choose to bring these movies to the public. You should be down on your knees thanking us, among other things, you know, because us horror hosts do bring these movies to the public. We pull them out of the depths of obscurity. And bring them to you. I mean, so at least people can appreciate the work that's been done. You know, and some of you want to bitch about pennies. That, oh my God, we didn't get our little pound of flesh. You didn't render unto Caesar what was Caesar's. Well, you know what? Fuck Caesar. You know, sorry. That's the way Brother Jack feels, and that's the way it's going to be. So if you don't like it, too bad. Now there was a couple of good goofs in this film. My favorite is that there was several scenes involving some rather copious amounts of blood that were sprayed around. It was supposed to be fake blood, and if anybody's done any special effects, you know, the classic recipe of food coloring, Caro syrup and a few other ingredients to give it that blood-like consistency. Well, this budget of this film was so bad, the special effects team ran out of money to make enough fake blood required to do the whole movie, which would have been, quite honestly, like the equivalent of about a 55-gallon drum to do this. So, you know, necessity being the mother of invention. You know, and if you're a film producer, or a film special effects person, you know all about creative scrounging. I mean, let's face it. If you were a sergeant in the army, you knew about how to scrounge and get what you needed. Well, the special effects department, one of their people made a rather clever little deal with a local farmer for several. Basically the equivalent of like 25 gallons worth of chicken and cow blood. I don't know where they got it, or know how they collected it. I really don't want to think of that. I don't want, you know, Brother Jack doesn't condone the killing, the wholesale slaughter of chickens or cows, you know, unless there's a McDonald's or a Kentucky Fried Chicken involved. But where they got this blood, they did make arrangements to get this blood from a local farmer, you know, and it was mixed with what little stage blood they did have. Now, here's the gag, people. The actors were never told anything about this. All they were under the impression that it was just going to be the fake blood, the Caro syrup, and food coloring, and you know, nobody thought anything of it. Well, the filming progressed and it was completed. The actors, there were several scenes where actors were quite literally doused in this stuff. and nobody said boo until the night of the theatrical premiere in one of the theaters in Harshaw and Milwaukee. It had come to light that the farmer who they had made the deal with for the chicken and cow blood was at the premiere and proceeded to brag to one of the actresses in the film that he'd provided all this cow and chicken blood and that they'd been sprayed with it without their real knowledge. So the actress, being understandably sickened, decided to basically make a scene, and that caused the director to take a pretty meaty punch to the face from this actress. I guess it knocked him flat on his ass. And this was in front of a camera crew and all of the mayor of the town and the local bigwigs and dignitaries. So the actress having to be taken out by police, screaming, cursing, and vomiting. Hello? Well, nope, nobody there. Sorry. The actress being taken out, cursing, vomiting, and being quite sickened was, removed by the cops. There were no charges filed later on, but that's just a little bit of trivia. There was another little bit of trivia that they were filming the scenes in the beginning with the dynamite fishing. This was done by two special effects guys in a rowboat dropping the explosives. Well, one of them, because of too much wild turkey with his lunch, had become quite intoxicated, and he was basically lighting the dynamite and supposedly handing it to his friend. Well, he lit the dynamite and proceeded to pass out, dropping a lit stick of dynamite in the boat. This causing the two actors, one of them having to be physically dragged out of the boat before the dynamite exploded. There were no deaths, but they were both not seriously injured. They would receive minor lacerations and contusions. That special effects person was immediately fired. But, just a little bit of trivia about the film. And speaking of the film, we're going to get back to the bog from 1983 here on the Angry Brothers Omaha Rama. Enjoy.
Looked at me when I got back in the car?
Yeah, what the hell was that?
I don't know.
Well, something's happening back there. We better go take a look, huh?
Yeah.
Jesus. Hell, look.
No.
Get down there, look. Corky, look! Look over there, look! Right over here. Ah! Son of a bitch!
Well, greetings, faithful followers. What did you think of Bog so far? What did you think of Bog? Wasn't this movie scary? Yeah, right. I mean, about as scary as a bunion, but that's neither here nor there. I mean, we don't claim to for the movies to be super scary. We just like to say they're bad. Well, they're not really bad. They're just kind of misunderstood. And Mr. Lobo, I'll send you a quarter for that quote, when I get around to doing it. But what did you think of the movie so far? I mean, wasn't the monster kind of hokey? I mean, the big dude in a rubber suit, it's like, you gotta admire small-time filmmaking and independent films, low-budget films, because they're like the unsung heroes. They get out there and try. They're not like these big studios. Omaha is becoming quite the mecca for independent horror films, and we wholeheartedly salute that. You know, and you know, we encourage local filmmakers. You know, the Angry Brothers are wanting to put together a local horror film festivals featuring independent filmmakers. That other one that, you know, whose name we won't mention, you know, it's like the organizers for that, you know, we don't support them in any way, shape, or form, and we don't acknowledge them in any way, shape, or form. And you know, I think that they, you know, if I were a member of the consuming public, I would definitely want to look for another film festival. But that's just my opinion, you know. And again, First Amendment, you know, God bless America. So with that being said, next week we're going to be bringing you more B-movie badness here on the Angry Brothers Omaha Rama. We're not going to tell you what, because frankly we haven't found that movie yet, but it'll be coming. And you know, I also want to take a moment here to talk about our good friend Brother James. As you have obviously seen on like our Angry Brothers page, my personal Facebook page, and if you're a friend of us on Twitter, you probably received some notice about that. Brother James needs to have some pretty extensive dental work done. Frankly, he's got a busted up grill, and it's up to us to help him fix it. You know, we need to raise $5,000. This covers the shortfall on his insurance. This is all going to cover lost wages and time, because what he has to have done, people, is he has to have all of his teeth pulled. I mean, all of them. Every last gnarly little one. And he's got to have dentures made and put in. Now, obviously, this is going to be a somewhat painful procedure, even with modern dentistry. And, you know, it's like Brother Jack's probably looking at the same thing himself, you know. Advanced periodontal disease can be a bitch, let's face it. All right, and, you know, so obviously we've started a campaign on GoFundMe. You'll see a link for it at the end of the, immediately after this. And please take a moment to jot down the address and go to the campaign and donate, even if it's only a few dollars. We've had about 5, 10, 15 people donate so far, you know, and we've received a few donations privately, you know, and these do help out tremendously. And you know, I want to put any allegations that people have made to rest. If you'll see the picture on there of Brother James's grill and choppers. Let's face it, it's ugly, people. It gives me nightmares, and I've seen some pretty crazy shit in my time. But please take a moment to help out Brother James. He's been a great friend of the show, our sidekick, you know, and not to mention our brother. You know, and I want to see that he gets the best of, you know, what he needs to come through this and enjoy and get a good quality of life out of this. Because let's face it sucks when you can't eat. I mean, you know, at our age, eating's one of the few things that we can do, you know, and not risk serious emotional or physical injury. So, you know, we hope that you will go to Brother James's GoFundMe campaign and donate generously. And remember, let's keep America on top, y'all. Watch horror hosts and vote libertarian. So I'm Brother Jack Angry, here from the Monastery of Mayhem in the Angry Brothers Omaha Rama, and Movie Night Live from the Monastery of Mayhem. Good night and unpleasant dreams.